Hey everybody, I'm going to show you the best and fastest way to put your train together. Then I'm going to show you how to animate it, but don't tell Mr. Modlin because I learned it from him. So bring in all the parts that you will need. You're going to need one train body, so I'm going to right click, click OK. So you're going to hit place and bring in the axle peg, and you're going to need 4 of those. You can right click and hit OK, or after you've brought in the last one, you can hit escape on your keyboard. You're going to do this for like all the parts. So I'm going to bring in my Cowcatcher, click that, hit escape on my keyboard, and all I need is 1. Now I'm going to bring in all the rest of the parts. I'm only going to bring in 1 track. Here's how we're going to get started. You're going to right click on your train body and you are going to ground that. And then we're going to go to Constraint. You can make sure it's grounded by, there's like a thumbtack right there. Alright, so let's start constraining. You're going to hit this. We've been doing a whole bunch of mates and flushes. Now let's do this. It's called an insert constraint. That's for like any circles that line up, so like pegs, circles and circles, screws, bolts, things like that. So I'm going to click on that and you will notice that there is no gap right there. So when you have 2 solids rubbing up against each other, you're going to create some friction. We want to make sure that that wheel moves freely, and we're going to offset that 0.025. I'm going to hit apply there, and I'm going to do the same thing for the other wheels. As we look back down on the train, you can see there's that gap there. That's offset. That's good stuff. Alright, next thing we're going to do is we are going to add the axles. So I'm going to use, again, the insert constraint, and we want to use the bottom side of the axle pegs. So that looks good there. Don't forget to hit apply. Now let's do the stack. Hit apply. Now let's swing it around. Let's do the hitch magnet, the hitch peg. Let's do the Cowcatcher. Want to make sure we do like that inside part closest to that flat part of the Cowcatcher. We're going to want to turn that. Now we want to find that peg underneath. There we go, that's fully constrained now. Now let's put the linkage arms on there. Again, using the insert constraint. Let's click on the small circle there. And you want to make sure you do this circle, either the big one or the small one, so that, because right there where you see that gold part, that's where we're going to put the linkage peg. We also want to make sure that we can't click on this side because they won't line up. This white circle and this blue circle won't line up, so we need to flip it around. Hit apply. Now that'll work together. That was pretty nice. It jumped on there, but we can see it's not quite attached yet. And let's add linkage pegs. So we want to go on like we want to use the bottom side of the pegs. So right there. We want to unground the train body. So I right-clicked on that and I go uncheck that. We want to ground the train track. So I'm going to right-click on the train track, and it's there. You can see the train track's blue. That helps, and also you've got the thumbtack on there now. So I'm going to flush the side of the track with the side of the train body. I'm going to offset that 0.7. But it went the wrong direction, so I need to go negative 0.7. Hit apply. Then I'm going to mate the top of the track with the bottom of the train, and I'm going to offset that 0.4. Now it's time to start doing some animation. So sometimes you can see it's going to kind of move around. We want to use, I think for the first time, this angle constraint. We want to make sure we're using a direct angle. So I'm going to click on this spoke and this spoke to make sure that those are at 0 degrees and they're always moving around, and that will help so that no like glitches happen. I'm going to move this linkage arm down so that when one's up, the other one's down, just kind of moves around. Has a better look to it. We're going to do another angle constraint. I'm going to click on similar spokes, and then finally click on, so I've got the left side constrained, the right wheel is constrained. Now I'm going to do the back wheels constrained to each other, like that. And now I'm going to do a flush constraint with the back of the train with the back of the track. Alright, hit apply. Okay, so we got the train on the track, and this wheel will move, but the train is, flush with the back. So what we want to do is we want to use the angle constraint again, this direct angle, and we want to go the back of this with like that spoke right there. And we are going to name this, first I got to hit apply. And I'm going to open up this so we can see like all of the different constraints we have on the train body. And I want this last one. I'm going to change this so I can go down here and I can type in like 100, and you can see it's spun right there. So the wheels are spinning, but we also need the train to go in the direction. So it's going to look like it's driving. We're going to have the wheels spinning forward, the train moving forward, so we've got to come up with a mathematical formula for that. So this parameter right here is going to help us out, this f of x. We're going to create a function with that. So I'm going to scroll all the way down, and I'm going to find the one that we just named, or we just labeled 100 degrees, and it just happens to be D27 because it's my 27th dimension I've done here. And I'm going to call that crank. I'm going to do all caps so it's a little bit easier for me. I'm going to hit done. Alright, so just to see how this works, I'm going to right click on this and edit it and set it back to 0. And then I'm going to right click on this and go to drive, and we'll start at 0. We'll go to 360 degrees. We'll hit play, and look at that. You can see the wheels moving. So we've got one animation all done. Looks good, right? Now we need the train to move forward at the same time. Okay, so here we go. We've got the wheel moving, And now we're going to go to this flush right here, and we're going to right click on that. We're going to go to edit, and we're going to create a formula in here. So we need to know the circumference of the wheel so that we know the distance. So the wheel's diameter is 2.25 times 3.14, and you can see the train is moving in the direction. So now we want to multiply the crank and then divide it by 360 degrees. Now you can see it's still red because when I did the 2.25, I forgot the IN for inches there. Alright, go ahead and press OK. Alright, so it just became flush with this because of our formula here is 2.25 times 3.14 times crank. Well, our crank is set at 0 right now, so it's 0 times all of this is 0, so we're back to being flush, right? So this angle constraint is what we need to drive because that's where our crank is. So I'm going to click on that one time and name it something that is pretty obvious, and Mr. Modlin gave me this tip, just call it drive, right? Don't try and confuse yourself, keep it simple. We'll right click on that, we'll go to drive, and I'm going to zoom out a little bit and press play, and you can see the train is now moving down the track. It takes one wheel, it goes one circumference on one track. So that's great, right? Well, let's add some track to this. And let's try and keep it simple. So what we want to do is for every 360 degrees it goes 1. Well, let's add some tracks. Let's add like 5 tracks. So I'm going to do a rectangular pattern, and I'm going to go here to rectangle. I'm going to click on this component and my red arrow, and I'm going to click on this line and go in that direction. Fortunately, I remember that the track is 12 inches long, and like I just mentioned, we want 5 of these tracks. So rectangular pattern does all of the constraints for us, and we just hit OK. It is all locked down there. Now let's go back to this train body. Let's right click on the drive. Let's go back to the beginning, and let's say 360 degrees takes us one track. Well, what's the math if we want to go 5 tracks? Well, let's see what multiplying it by 5 does. Press play, and there we go. You just did your very first animation, and you can easily go from 5 tracks to 6 tracks, 10 tracks, 15 tracks. Just heads up, don't get too much because your computer might crash. Here's another really cool feature. If you back this up and you hit this red button, you can record a video for yourself for different types of video files. You can have this for your social media accounts too. All right. Good job and congratulations. Make sure you show your teachers this. This is awesome. This is cool stuff. Show your parents. This is so cool.